Hello and welcome back everybody to Katawa Shoujo. So I'm still a little bit ill. If you're wondering why I'm saying that all the time, it's just in case some people are wondering why I'm sounding even more strangely than I usually do. So we took Lily somewhere, I don't know where, and I really wanted to know that is where Hisao took Lily. That's the reason why I'm playing this. Again, it's very late and I have to get up at 5 a.m. Can you believe that? I have to get up at 5 a.m. because I have a long way to the university. But anyway, I am so eager to know that I'm going to play now. So, let's jump right in. Truth be told, I really lucked out in finding this cafe. Oh, he did. And I was so eager. You don't probably you people think now he already read that he's faking that, but now no, I didn't read that yet. I just looked to the mic and to other parts of the screen. I thought he so had something great up his sleeve. He so always lets me down. He's a douche. Truth be told, I really lucked out in finding this cafe. I didn't really know where I was going. Rather, I was just looking for any cafe that looked relatively nice. Having managed to recover a little, Lily tentatively sips at her cup as I take a long gulp of the coffee in front of me. He should stop drinking coffee. He drinks too much coffee, and I don't like coffee. As I hoped, her face lights up as she realizes what flavor it is. Ah, this is wonderful. Hisao, how did you know that this was? I'd asked for French vanilla black tea, hedging my bets that it would be her favorite flavor, or at least one she liked. While I don't really know much about tea, it sounded like one she might appreciate. Yeah, I don't believe that, but, you know, on the basis of her liking vanilla ice cream, a tea connoisseur I am definitely not. Whatever a tea connoisseur is. Tea, sorry. It was a lucky guess. You really like tea, don't you? She puts her teacup down and gives a tiny nod. That familiar small smile thankfully perched on her face once again. Drinking tea is calming, I think. With the amount you drink, are you sure you're not addicted to it? Caffeine addiction's pretty common nowadays. Yeah, that's the guy saying who drinks so much coffee it's already disgusting. Did I ever say I wasn't? Ha! And Lily owned Hisao once again. She lets out a giggle as my head drops. We all have our vices, I suppose, and there are worse things to be addicted to. French vanilla black tea, huh? I'll have to remember that. For a while, we both silently drink. It's comforting to have someone like her nearby in such new surroundings, even if it is just the two of us sitting in silence. I begin to wonder if this feeling is the same for her until she sets down her cup. Hisao, do you mind if I ask you a slightly odd question? That depends on the question, I guess. You can ask me anything. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. I was wondering what your favorite color is. Hey, you're from Scotland. I expect you to write color with U. Come on, Lily. Really? You're writing American? Unacceptable. Unacceptable? I think it's acceptable. Anyway, everyone has one after all. Well, in this game my favorite color is yellow. Not because, this is no dumb Lily, but in this game I really like the yellow in which Lily's name is written. That yellow is really cool. But in general I like brown, yellow and orange, I think. And also red, depends on the red. But yeah, I'm not so much into the green, blue type of colors. Well, anyway, I almost replied before realizing why the seemingly mundane question is actually quite strange. Well, it seems she wasn't, so it seems she wasn't blind from, from her birth or something. My favorite color, but... She gives a pouting look, wanting me to answer anyway. While the answer seems unavoidably wasted on her, there isn't any harm in giving it. I've always had a thing for green. I'd say that's my favorite. Yeah, okay, logical because of his name, you know. No, because of the color of his name. There you go. Green, is it? What things do you think of when contemplating that color? I suppose grass fields and trees in summer. The army as well, with camouflage. What? When you think about your favorite color, you think about the army? Okay. Okay, I don't like where this is going. I am really. Just allow me to make one political statement. I am absolutely not into the military. Like, absolutely not. Not in any kind of military. But that sounds like a nice color. A very nice color. She nods her head a little, as if approving of the choice. Considering how foreign the concept of color is to her mind, labeling it by association seems reasonable enough. If everyone has a favorite color, then what's yours? White. I'm told that's the color of snow and of ice cream, so she always was blind, it seems. You're not better than me then, if you only like that color because of a favorite food. I guess white is nice too, though. And speaking of colors, it'll be getting dark soon. Let me help you up. Dark is not really a color, but I'll take it. Lily offers her hand, which I take in mine, to help lever her up from the seat at the table. Its softness compared to mine takes me off guard, as I'm really not used to such casual contact. It doesn't seem to bother her at all, though. While it seems obvious why, it feels like just one more ladylike aspect to her. That's why I like her. Man, I'm getting way into this Lily path, you know. But man, you may remember if you watched it. Probably you didn't, but still. I was always going for Lily. I was really heartbroken when we ended up with Amy. Well, in the end, I was okay with it, but man, that really broke my heart. My gamer heart. Not my real heart, but my gamer heart was broken. As her hands moved to her pocket, I quickly cut her off. Don't worry, I'll pay for this. Oh, thank you, Hisao. She gives an earnest smile at the gesture, a reward much greater than that of her words. By the time we step off the bus, it's well and truly dark. We make our way up the hill in silence, both of us behaving a little awkwardly, probably because of the day's events. While I'm still concerned over Lily's withdrawn nature after meeting with her sister, the fact I managed to cheer her up even slightly feels like a personal victory. But it feels like the air between us has changed. Maybe it's only a bit, but it's something I don't think either of us realized before. That was a date, wasn't it? It was. That doesn't elude either of us, the question's answer being so self-evident as to be rhetorical. Awkward as it may be, I don't think this feeling is bad. In fact, quite the opposite. I don't know what it is, I certainly can't be sure, but it feels like something a little more than friendship. Understanding. Empathy. Searching for words to adequately describe it is difficult. Nonetheless. Would you like to do this again sometime, Lily? Without shopping for presents. The tentative question is met with the same look from Lily as before. Her pale skin makes the rosy tint of her cheeks just slightly more noticeable, and her face, though still pointed to the street ahead of her, lowers. Just a little. Okay. Yay! I'm done with that. Hooray! I walk down to the hall of the girls' dormitories, my school bag in hand. A doll lies inside, carefully placed on top of a small box. But there is still something going on. Sometimes when a thought comes to my mind, I start speaking. A bad habit, really. But there's still something going on. We have to celebrate Hanako's birthday early, so this probably means Lily will go. And I kind of have the feeling that she will go forever or something like this, something I won't like. But let's see. I've been carrying the box in there for a while now, still not sure of what to do with it. This whole situation, come to think of it, is bizarre. While I've known of Hanako's upcoming birthday party for a while, I had no idea of exactly what the celebrations would be until I found a single note left in the abandoned tea room earlier today. While I've known of Hanako's upcoming birthday for a while now, I had no idea of exactly what the celebrations would be until I found a single note left in the abandoned tea room earlier today. I hold it up and read it again, double-checking the instructions. The plain black handwriting is fairly legible, despite Lily's blindness, clearly thanks to considerable effort and care. Hiso, we'll be holding a party at my place. Please come at 6 o'clock to room 225 in the girls' dormitory. Sorry for notifying you this way, but I have class representative duties. Lily Sato. Not reassured, I continue walking down the hallway until I reach Lily's dormitory room. I hesitate for a second, but eventually give 3 sharp taps on the door. A brief and muffled exchange of words can be heard from the other side. Listening closer, I can just pick out Hanako and Lily's voices. As they finish, Lily calls out, "Might that be Hisao?" "Yep. I got the note you left for me. You can come in. The door is unlocked." Glad that I managed to get the right room, I press down on the handle and let myself in. As the door swings open, my greeting to them is stolen from my mouth. So is this some kind of pajama party? I'm down with that too, you know. Lily sits at a low table in the center of the room in her pajamas, while on the other... Well, you could have at least worn a longer pajama, Lily, really. While on the other side sits Hanako in a nightgown. Being dressed in only my normal school clothes, I feel quite out of place. Yeah, well, you can... Well, you can take them off. You know, he's all... play along. I steal a quick glance at the lovely sight of the two, my eyes tearing themselves from Lily's long, thin, and pale legs only with a measure of reluctance. Tearing, not tearing, I was wondering. Like tearing apart. Ah, okay. Hi. I think I brought everything that was needed. She smiles and nods. I wonder if she's even aware of the pleasant sigh she makes. The thin, dark blue silk of her pajamas really suits her, accentuating both her eyes and her curves. Okay, this might destroy the mood, but I wonder if this would be the same scene on the Hanako path, only that he would check out Hanako, probably. The look of her last night, that tentative and almost shy manner, seems all but replaced by her coy nature. It's nice to see her confidence returned, though I can't help casting my mind back to how she looked back then. I look to Hanako, who nervously sits opposite her in her gown. It isn't a surprise that she'd wear something so conservative, though it definitely looks cute. Hi Hanako, happy birthday! Sorry, I still think, to be honest, in my mind I was thinking like, should I make a perv joke? When he was standing in front of the door and they chatted with each other behind the door, I wanted to say something like, yeah, no, the party goes, some naked joke or something like that. But I thought, man, this would be inappropriate. But it seems... Please don't do it. I'm still traumatized by the Shat and Amy. Really, please don't do something like this to me. Thank you. She's unusually skittish, despite the fact that she has warmed up to me considerably over the weeks we've come to know each other. This is a pretty unusual situation, I guess. Yeah, I guess. Feel free to take a seat, Hiso. I'll just pour your tea. Some tea. You two. Ah, okay. Sure thing. Lily takes the steaming red teapot from the side of the table and gently pours its content into our teacups, as I take a seat beside them, setting my back against the nearby wall. With my senses returned and hormones somewhat calmer, I realize that this is the first time I've ever been in Lily's room. The first thing I notice is the ambient smell, just slightly different from that in mine. Probably faint perfume, or nail polish. It could be anything of a girl's, really. Yeah, well, to be honest, who knows something like that? As a boy, I'm not sexist or anything, but I really don't know. Can't smell the difference between nail polish or something like that, or nail paint or whatever. Another is the plain nature of the room, visually. Beige walls, a smart yet unadorned cabinet, the lack of posters or wall hangings. It's distinctly utilitarian, something I should have anticipated given her blindness. Utilitarian. I read Mill. I read, what was his name again? Another British. Utilitarians are usually, most of them are British. The most well-known are British. And I read a lot of them, but I don't really get what this has to do with this kind of philosophy. Well, anyway, maybe I'm just not understanding it. Or utilitarian means something different in this case. The only thing that really seems out of ordinary is several piles of books sitting on the floor, each reaching from roughly knee-height to waist-height. Some of them have printed titles, others are entirely blank except for dots of braille. The fact that the ones with printed titles are uniformly in English is interesting, though not completely unexpected. She did mention her parents impressing the language upon her and Akira after all. Your room looks nice, Lily. I hear a call of thanks from behind my shoulder. Looking back to Hanako, her gaze is fixed on her lap, and her hands are nervously clutching her gown. It's now that I notice why. With these clothes on, the extent of her scarring is far more visible, reaching down her neck and out to cover her right shoulder. You know, at this point, maybe I'm really enjoying Katawa Shoujo so much. Maybe I'm also going to play the Hanako path. Because also I'm really interested in Hanako's backstory. And I read on the internet that it is heartbreaking. Sometimes I hate the internet. Sometimes you're just surfing the web and because of the stuff you have watched yourself or something like that, you get somewhere and see spoilers. But this time, thankfully, I just read that Hanako's good ending is so wonderful or something like this. So maybe I'm going to play that too. Considering this is a party for her, she doesn't really look like she's enjoying the experience now that I'm here. So how old are you turning? 18? Changing positions. Here you go. Her look of surprise, not all hate by her total lack of skill at hiding her feelings, showed that she was trying to mentally tune me out. This is really quite awkward. Yes. On the plus side, there's only 2 more years till you can drink. So who's older, you or Lily? In Germany, you can drink with 18, just saying. Lily, she had her birthday in February. What about yours? Earlier this year, so it's already passed. Unstated is that it passed while I was stuck in the hospital. That was a particularly low point of the experience. Oh my god, I didn't even see that. That looks like you know, I'm not a big How I Met Your Mother fan, but this looks... But I've seen a few episodes, and this looks like a suit pyjama. You know, the one that Barney Stinson wears. Oh well, anyway. Conversation with her dries up as quickly as expected. It isn't long before Lily's finished preparing our drinks, setting down the 3 teacups in front of us. I pick mine up, immediately noticing a much stronger aroma and taste than the tea we've been having. Huh, it tastes different than the tea we have in school. It's a different variety, rather than the kind we've been having there. You've never tasted orange chapua before? No, I didn't even know it existed. Not that I can remember. I usually drink coffee after all, like when we were in town. This is nice, though. As we settle down and sip, Hanako seems to become more relaxed, or at least a bit less tense about my presence. We all finish our cups at about the same time, with Hanako failing rather badly at hiding her anticipation for the cake that is sitting to the side, begging to be eaten. Come to think of it, I'm feeling very eager myself. First things first, though. Lily? Yes, now is good. Each of us knowing exactly what the other means, I lean sideways and dig around in my bag for the doll I bought. Hanako as Lily gets up and retrieves her gift. Hiding our gifts in our hands, we present them both on the table at the same time. I imagine that being quite hard with a blind person, but sometimes, Hisao makes jokes about that, and sometimes he forgets himself. Happy birthday! Hanako silently sits looking at them for seconds on end, out of sheer surprise. My little wooden doll, replete with Victorian-era dress and little hat, lies next to a light brown and fluffy stuffed bear from Lily. She clutches at her gown as she moves to speak, not taking off her eyes off the modest presents. Thank you, Lily and Hisao. Aww. Her voice begins to crack as Lily reaches forward, wrapping her in a soft embrace. The sight of Hanako holding Lily so tightly is heartwarming, so much so that I couldn't wipe the smile off my face, even if I wanted to. As Lily gently rests her face on Hanako's head, she speaks so quietly and softly that I can barely hear. Happy birthday, Hanako. Happy birthday. Hanako gives a small nod, holding on to Lily for a time before breaking off and wiping an eye. I guess that for Hanako, simply having someone, anyone, to be there and love her would be special. The fact that Lily and I can now share that role for her is something I think I will always be grateful for. Hanako gently takes the doll and teddy bear, holding them both to her chest as she warmly smiles. For a long time, all three of us simply sit in happy silence. The quiet is not broken until Lily's soft voice beckons. Shall we have at the cake now? The proposal is met with two looks of unhidden anticipation. No argument from me. Okay. Phew, that was good. I contentedly sit back, both Lily and Hanako looking just as satisfied with the food as I. It took some effort, but we managed to finish off the cake in one go. I don't think I could fit any more in. I think next time I'll buy a smaller cake. Hanako and I give a chuckle, but I can't help noticing that, come this time next year, we'll have graduated from Yamaku. The fact is somewhat depressing, since I finally feel as if my life is starting to get back into some kind of order. Idly looking around Lily's neat and orderly room, her books catch my eye once again. This may be a little impetuous, but my curiosity gets the better of me. Besides, I don't think she'll mind in any case. Hey Lily, do you mind if I take a look at one of your books? You're quite welcome to, Hisao. That said, if you can overcome 2 language barriers, I will be quite impressed. 2, Braille and... Oh right, English. She gives a nod. I knew you were studying English, but I'm still amazed that you're this proficient at it. One could say it's a perfect way to avoid people borrowing my collection. Good one. She even has this great sense of humor. What more do you expect from a woman, Hisao? She says it in a jest, but I'm a little disappointed. Having all these books around me with no way of reading them feels like one big tease. Hanako giggles quietly as I reach over the closet pile, plucking the topmost with only cursory glance. Death on the Nile, oh! In large letters on the cover is the only printed text to be seen. Cool. Agatha Christie. Agatha? Do you say Agatha in English? Oh well, I don't know. I sit down for a while, with the book open on my lap, as Lily and Hanako talk. Try as I might to feel out the dots of braille printed on each page, they seem to blend into one another and become indistinct. I thought this to be a lot easier than it actually is. With some practice, though, I could see someone with a better sense of touch than mine managing to read at a pretty fast speed. Noticing a silence that had probably begun earlier, I look up from the dotted pages to see Lily smiling as Hanako sips another cup of tea. Is something wrong? Quite the opposite. Your curiosity is quite endearing. I am inordinately pleased by the praise, though I can feel my cheeks heating up a little. Thanks, but I don't know how else I could act. To be honest, I wasn't altogether sure of how you saw us, since you were a new transfer student from another school. If you'd pitted us, I would have been quite offended. There's a certain edge to Lily's voice, one that I'd quite possibly place as pride. Glancing over to Hanako, she seems even more subdued than usual, looking towards Lily rather than me. I wouldn't worry about that. Considering the position I found myself in, I'm perhaps the last person that should be dispensing pity on others. My parents' first reaction with me after my heart attack, I wouldn't want anyone to see that kind of face. I catch myself from going any further, but not soon enough. Both of the girls seem to be put off, Lily especially. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have gone that far. An awkward silence, yeah. Well, Hiso went a little bit far, but happens. I know that sometimes your mouth talks faster than your brain thinks. I have that too. An awkward silence reigns for a few beats, thankfully ended as Lily's head perks up in a gesture I've come to easily recognize. Here's something. The door. Everyone looks towards it, trusting in Lily's senses. True enough, the door handle shudders and turns, a flash of yellow and black slipping through. Oh, Akira Sato's, Akira Sato's in the house. Happy birthday, Hanako. Thank you. Akira takes a seat at the table as she plops her tall back beside her. She has her trademark boisterous air about her, making no small deal of her entrance. Hanako clutches her gown to steady herself, but doesn't appear too shaken after she settles down. I guess she must have met Akira before. Not a huge surprise given how close Akira and Lily are. Akira doesn't seem to be the last bit put off by Hanako's scarring, despite its prominence, but she also doesn't pull any punches in how she acts despite Hanako's shy nature. I thought you'd said you have to work, Akira. Did you manage to get off for a while? Kinda. I feel bad about ditching the guys doing overtime, so I gotta get back soon. But I felt bad about not coming to your cute little Hanako's birthday too, so for now I'm here. She grins widely at Hanako, who flowers into a full blush as she pins her eyes downwards towards her lap. Her mouth seems to widen and retract over and over, as if she was trying to suppress a smile out of embarrassment. It's a little strange how her reaction seems to be more immediately and forceful than when she's embarrassed by the way she looks. All she manages to give in return is a tiny nod, failing to hide her appreciation to any great extent. Not that many people give her positive attention, I suppose. It makes me respect how well Akira can handle her, making her so happy, compared to what little I could do. That's true. Now then, before I go, she reaches into the bag beside her and grandly displays its content. Oh no, I have a bad feeling about this. I have a very bad feeling about this. Out come two large glass bottles with long French names on the labels. Hanako's expression is an odd mix of surprise and curiosity, and as a suspect mine's no different. Lily, not seeing the proceedings, is oblivious to what's going on. Oh, nothing good. Nothing good. Akira, this isn't... What is it? Wine. One red, one white. Even the... okay. Akira, that's... Relax, relax. It's not like Shizuna's here to scold you. Lily has a point. That's not exactly allowed on campus. Not anywhere, really. We're still short of the legal drinking age, remember? Which words for someone practically drooling as he examines a bottle. She got me there. I am genuinely interested in trying some, even just a little. While Hanako may not be handling one herself, the look does tell me that she's far from opposed to the notion as well. To be honest, I'm not a wine person. I am a beer drinker. You know, go proletarian beer and stuff. Lily rubs her forehead, giving up the fight that she knows Akira would win due to simply not caring enough about those funny rules and regulations. Just don't breath a word of this to anyone in the school, please. I beg of you. I'm not stupid, don't worry. That said, I gotta get back to work pretty soon. So soon? But you only just arrived. Sorry, Lily. Good to see you two again, though, and you, Hiso. See you later, then. Oh, goodbye, Akira. Oh, so she gives... Oh, God, this isn't going anywhere. Wait, let me. I don't know, how do you say that when you sneeze into... Well, you hear the noises, so you probably will know what is happening now. Yeah, as mentioned, I'm sick, I can't do anything about it, sorry. Alright. I don't have a good feeling. I get the feeling I have to censor stuff pretty soon again. Please, but on the other hand, it's Lily. But on the other hand, I didn't expect something from Amy too. Well, at least not that. You know, the shat. I could accept the dry humping. I thought it was dumb, but hey, I could take it. But the shat was too much for me. Alright, let's hope we don't end up in a three-way. Interesting. Or maybe some of you hope so. Well, I'll censor it, so don't hope too hard. Lily gives a nervous giggle at her sister's antics as Hanako takes a wine bottle. So, what do you think, Lily? Maybe Hanako will open up with alcohol. She rests her elbow on the table and pinches the bridge of her nose, thinking things through. She really doesn't seem to be able to keep up with her sister. Well, it's already here. We may as well have some. No sooner does she say it that I take a quick glance around the room for glasses. The small groan above me reminds me that Lily retired to rest on the bed for a bit a few minutes ago. Almost completely drained of energy, I managed to stand up and drag myself to the side of the bed, sitting down and leaning my back against it. Oh, good God. Lily's groan sounds lifeless. Too much to drink? My head hurts. Yeah, too much to drink. I rest my head and idly stare at the ceiling. What an unimagined, meditated, I can't read anymore disaster. Like proper idiots, we all drank the night away with one glass after another. Hanako simply fell to the side asleep. This is a really cool way to get drunk, you know. When you are too drunk, you don't start to do dumb stuff, you just fall asleep. And it's a miracle I don't feel as ill as Lily. Hey, Iso. I'm sorry about today. I didn't think this would happen. Oh, it's fine, Lily. Tell the truth, I had a lot of fun today. Really? Oh, I think Hanako did too. No, she certainly did. There's a short silence, before another groan resounds from the supine Lily. You okay? As you said, I just drank too much. What's the time? The time, I quickly look at my wristwatch. Its numerals barely legible in the gloom. About midnight. Curfew's in effect then. Yeah, I guess as much. We'll all have to sleep here for tonight. As soon as I say it, I hear the sheets moving as Lily starts to sit up. Hanako! Ah, no, go back to sleep. Don't try to get up. Hisao, I have to. You're in worse shape than me by any stretch. Get some rest. But what about... I'll grab some spare blankets and put them over her. Don't worry. As I give a deep yawn and stand to retrieve them, I hear her lie back with a soft thud. Thank you, Hisao. No problem. It's the least I can do. You look outright wasted. I'm not wasted. Just a little bit tired. Well, obviously you didn't drink too much. If you would have drank both these bottles, you would be more wasted if you're not used to alcohol, really. Or they have very good genes. Well, anyway. Whoops. She starts pounding, a slight slur beginning to distort her words as the alcohol takes hold of her again. I grab a couple of blankets rolled up at the end of her bed. Quietly walking over to Hanako, I carefully lay the blankets over her peacefully sleeping figure, making sure not to wake her up. The thick smell of alcohol coming off her breath makes me doubt she'd wake up no matter what I did, though. I stand and take one last measure of the room. 2 girls, both very drunk, and one guy sleeping overnight with them in the female student's dorm. What a scandal that would be if it broke out. As I move to sit back down at the side of the bed, I steal one last glance at Lily. Come on, give me a picture. Oh, too bad. A sprawling, disheveled figure lies resting peacefully, slightly turned to the side. I crouch down to get a better look. Ah, yay, picture! Her white skin blends in with the white pillow of the bed, a look of slumber-born peacefulness on her face. Usually she seems so confident and forward, always there and caring for Hanako. Now, though, she seems painfully delicate. I think back to Hanako's present. I thought it would be a nice occasion for her, but I would hardly expected it to be so moving. One birthday after another, year after year. Just she and Lily, all alone. I guess it wasn't just the presents she liked. Resigning myself to an uncomfortable sleep, I sit down at the side of the bed once again and rest my tired arms beside me. Hey, Hisao. Lily's voice is so quiet I can barely hear it. She must be on the verge of sleep. Yeah? Thank you. Thank you? For what? For being here. That's okay. As I hear a deep breath, it's obviously Lily is gone to sleep. After closing my eyes, it doesn't take long for slumber to take me as well. Hisao! Hisao, are you? The soft, barely audible voice lingering in my ears slowly wakes me. I wish I could be awoken like this more often. With a mumble, I slowly open my... Whoops. Ah, whoa! Taken by surprise at the face hovering curiously mere millimeters from mine, I make our heads collide with a harsh thud. The impact of our foreheads causes both of us to fall backwards and yelp in pain. Lily sounding more like a squeak toy than a person. Ow, ow, ow! I slowly rub my forehead with one hand, supporting myself with the other. Lily lies a few feet ahead doing just the same, her face obviously pained. Ah, sorry, your face was kinda close and I acted on reflex. You okay? My head. It seems she's not actually okay. Come to think of it, I doubt that the impact alone is what causing her head so much pain. Hangover? You drank a fair bit last night. She silently nods in confirmation as I lever myself up. Oh, she's wearing pajama pants, isn't she? Or are these her legs? Are these her legs? These are her legs, aren't they? I'm not quite sure. Or are these yellow pajamas? But I think at the table pictures it was obvious that she's wearing no. This is really too short for wearing not pants. I bet she's wearing pants. Oh well, anyway. Not my ideal. I offer a hand to her and help her back onto her feet. Glancing behind her, I find that Hanako is still fast asleep. It's not fair. I only drank as much as you did. That's very different from what I remember. And anyway, girls have a lower tolerance than men. That doesn't help. Fine, I'll get you a glass of water. Just be careful not to trip over Hanako. I rub the sleep out of my eyes, or at least some of it, as I walk to the counter. Tending to someone with a hangover isn't the way I like to spend the morning. It only takes a few seconds for the glass to fill, the clear water reflecting the silver of the light that makes it through the thin curtains. It looks like Lily's taken a seat on the side of the bed. I walk over to her while taking care to step over the peacefully sleeping Hanako and place the glass into her outstretched hands. Thank you. No problem. I take a seat next to her, the soft bed having a surprising amount of give. She drinks slowly and methodically. A long silence passes, with only Hanako's soft breathing to be heard. With some measure of guilt, I look at Lily's face and attempt to read her expression. Her brow is furrowed, and she looks to be lost in thought. For a moment I hesitate, but eventually I place a hand on her shoulder in an attempt to reassure her. I didn't expect her to flinch rather noticeably at that, though. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Lily quickly shakes her head in a manner somewhat more violent than usual for her. She takes a long breath to steady herself before letting her head sink. I must look terrible right now. Oh no, you look like always, but that's just because it's the same picture. I move to protest, but quickly realize that it would be futile to do so. That said, I want her to open up more. If you want to talk about anything, I'm here. If you have alcohol problems, you don't need to go to the AOs. No, how do you say that? The Anonymous Alcoholics AA, isn't it? Ah, well. Lily gives a self-desperate snort, as if to mock her own emotions. There's just a lot happening right now. I'm sorry for being so strange recently, especially back when we were in town. Even now I'm a bit confused about everything. Believe me, I know how that feels. She smiles wistfully, resting a cheek on the back of her fingers. We're a couple of broken young fools, aren't we? But with class. We drank wine. Oh well. To be honest, I think I have seen and I have witnessed and I have lived through way worse situations than you had yesterday. And I don't think if you drink for the first time so much alcohol, it is as nice as that was. But anyway. Come on, don't say that. Come graduation, we'll be back out into the real world. The real world? Sometimes I surprise myself with the way I think about things. I guess the strange, divorced feeling of Yamaku and the surrounding town compared to the outside world still hasn't become natural. Well, to me it has. Sorry, Hiso. Maybe it never will. It's strange in hindsight. Being isolated from society like this doesn't feel as bad as it probably should. Oh, okay, one moment. I think the real world sometimes I think about things. I guess the strange was feeling of him. Compared to the others, still hasn't become natural. Yeah, okay. Maybe it never will. It's strange and inside people. Okay, but he likes that they are somehow isolated. Okay. Right grin on her face, Lily seems to share the same sense of amusement at the idea. Eventually, though, her smile drops. I'll be going back to Scotland for a week or two soon. Is that why we had to reschedule Hanako's birthday party? Well, as long as you're just gone for a week or two, I can take it. She gives an affirmative nod. You'll be able to see your family again, at least. You're not looking forward to it? Oh my god, I haven't met my family in 6 years. I don't even know how to act around them anymore. Wait, what? My mouth hangs open as I try to process what she said. Well, at least you can't see it. If she is 18, that means she had to have been only 12 when they left. I may have seen very little of my parents, what with them both working long hours, but that is... I feel utterly useless as I struggle to find some way to respond. To be honest, Hiso, there's one time I'm with you. I wouldn't really know what to say. That's... But why? Why did they leave? Or why are they inviting Akira and me back? Both, I suppose. My father's business has its headquarters in Scotland, and an executive position became available for him there. In the end, he had to move permanently. My mother followed him, but Akira and I stayed in Japan for the sake of both Akira's job within the Japanese branch of my father's company and my education. Is the education that bad in Scotland? As for the latter, one of my aunts is gravely sick. I'm sorry. Don't be. It feels strange, really. We're being summoned there for her, yet we've barely met before. I can't even remember the sound of her voice. Equally strange is the total lack of antipathy she feels towards her family for doing such a thing. I can't help feeling slightly humbled. That said, her wistful exterior is just hiding her emotions. Seeing her like this is depressing. Knowing what to do, I lift myself off the bed. Lily notices the bed movements, her head peeking up and her hand reaching sideways to feel where I was. Hiso? I walk over to my back, still leaning. He has the box, the music box, against the wall. Unbuckling the front flap and retying the opaque from within, I take the small, plain box in my hands. Yeah, I'm right. Hold your hands out, Lily. She looks surprised for a moment, but eventually acquiesces. I'm amused by her look of curiosity when I place the music box into her open palms, a typically delicate way of handling it, making it seem as if it were fragile enough to break it breathed on. She wordlessly brings it in front of her face, her slender fingers feeling out if it counters and pattering. Eventually, her fingers find the recessed line between the lid and body of the box, and her thumb effortlessly pops open the lid. I take a seat on the bed next to her, watching her face silently and intently. She sits completely motionless as she listens to the diminutive tiny melody, her mouth just slightly open. It takes a long while before she closes the lid with a small snap, bringing the curtain down on the miniature performance playing in her hands. The smile on her face, gentle and wistful, shows that I made the right decision. Think of it as going away present for your trip to Scotland. I will. A restless shuffling can be heard from the floor in front of us, the sound having woken Hanako. She climbs out of the blankets I put over her, looking befuddled and wiping the sleep from her eyes. I see you're finally up. Hey, and your hair is still covering the one side of your face. I don't know if this really works while you're sleeping, but okay. Huh? What? Hanako looks around the room with her eyes only half open, her mind far from being as awake as her body. Her dazed state makes me and Lily chuckle. As Lily gets off the bed and tends to Hanako, I take one last look around the room. I guess I would better get going. I'd better get going then. There'll be questions if I am seen leaving the girls' dormitories in the morning. Goodbye, Hiso. Oh, goodbye. I stand and walk to the door, picking up my somewhat lighter bag along the way. After I leave the room and enter the hallway, though, I hear Lily's footstep behind me. Huh? What's wrong? Without a word, she strides up to me. I freeze as I feel her hand slide onto my cheek, seeming seemingly every nerve taking in the feeling of her fingers and palm up on it. Immediately after, her face slowly moved next to mine, a light, momentary touch of her lips brushing against my other cheek. For a moment everything seems to stand still. I absent-mindedly bring my fingers to my cheek, as if to try and recapture that fleeting feeling. Lily. That's my thank you, Hisao. Thank you for your present. Have a nice day in school. And with that, she disappears behind her door and gently closes it. That muffled voice of her and Hanako audible through it much as they were yesterday night. I think it would be hard-pressed not to have a nice day after that. I walk away with a certain spring to my step. I think there were some people around that glanced at me emerging from the girls' dormitory building, but I find it difficult to care. Alright. That was nice. Even though... my shoulder hurts. Oh. Well... If you want to see what Misha wants next time, then you'll come back. Well... They're getting closer. I guess there are more problems in Lily's family, probably. We don't know yet why she has so many difficulties with Shizune and stuff. And we don't know why she never met them for 6 years. I mean, it's not like there are no planes. I mean, I could see if they are only meeting once a year or twice a year, I could somehow understand that. But the first time after 6 years is pretty strange. Well, but we'll see probably in the next few episodes. So thank you everybody for watching, and I hope I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!